For Panthers Fans Only is a sports podcast intended for mature audiences and contains profanity as well as extremely spirited conversation. What you see and hear are the sole opinions and depictions of each individual, not at all inclusive of the entire cast or any guests associated with our show. Thanks for tuning in, and always remember to stand on business.
I started it OD quick, but it's okay. Because it's because of him, bro. He be making me snap. Very, very, very special guest in the building tonight.
Can't hear you, little bro.
He don't got his mic. Yeah. Took that mic from him. But yeah, hey, one of the best to do this, for real, in the space. I know he's not controversial, but I'll say it.
I'm humble dunk this year.
For sure.
I'm objective and humble this year.
Yeah, for sure. We got Aaron Duncan with us, CEO of Unnecessary Bluntness. Unnecessary Bluntness on YouTube. What is it? Dunk on the Man on Twitter?
Yep.
I'll let you plug it. I'm going to let your song rock for a second.
It's an old tip, man. Mixtape tip.
For sure. That ATL wore off on you. That's what it is. You really would be a Falcons fan had it not been for what you know what I'm saying?
I can't stand it. It's the fans. It's like a lot of teams I don't like. It's the fans that get on my nerves.
They do be chatting. One of the worst experiences of my life was 15-1 season. Week 17, I'm in Atlanta.
I was there.
They act like they won the Super Bowl. I was so embarrassed.
I was the funny thing, I was at the 38-0 blowout at home, and then we lost to them. It was like, no, we lost first, and then we came back and beat them at home, 38-0.
Yeah, that was tough. Well, how are you doing, sir? Again, like I said, we have Aaron Duncan.
I'm good, man. I feel like this the second year in a row, so it's really it's a pattern, or we call it a tradition, a pattern, a habit. What we call it?
we can call it a tradition for sure. I'll call it a tradition.
Okay. Sure. So this is the second link up during training camp. It's good to be here, man. Good to be seen.
Hey, glad to see you. How you doing? I don't know what he's on. I don't know what for this episode. I don't know what he's on. I'm gonna just go ahead and warn y'all. But how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. I feel great. Yeah, we outside tonight a little bit, so.
I don't know if you can be saying all
Me and
that.
JJ been in town. Terrence, he just not giving me.
Yeah.
So, but we gonna step out tonight. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
For sure.
Just got in town. Feel good to be in Charlotte. See my team. Ain't really like what I seen, but that's fine.
I mean, I didn't like what I saw either, but I definitely want to get Dunk's 2 cents on it. If you're new here, thank you so much for being here. If you're watching on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, turn that bell notification on. Ding. This is for who did the sound effect?
I'm just ad-libbing for you, bro.
I like that. Hey, you gonna have to go ahead and take your pen and paper out and start taking notes.
I said I ad-libbing for you.
I like that for sure. But this is For Panthers Fans Only. Follow us on social media on Instagram at For Panthers Fans Only, TikTok at the same handle. X, you can find us at FPFO_podcast. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, thank you so much for being here. Like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. If you're watching on DSPs, again, thank you so much for being here. Very, very special guest in the building. Yeah.
I don't do audio. What's DSP? That's the audio?
Yeah. Okay. Digital streaming platforms. That's what it is to me, but it's like an official term, but it's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeart, all of that good stuff.
Say word.
For sure. You'll go crazy up there if you just strip your audio from your videos
and put it on where?
Put it on. I'll show you. You just upload it to one thing. Connect your what you call
the RSS.
Yeah, connect your RSS and it just distributes it for you, and you have access to the whole dashboard and everything.
I didn't know people still listen to audio.
Yes, sir.
At a certain point, that was the only time I was listening to like all of my podcasts.
Yeah.
Well, still to this day, like I don't really watch a bunch of stuff on YouTube. Like I'm just listening to podcasts on Spotify.
I'm on YouTube now because I pay for premium, but apparently they like the biggest podcast platform now. Somehow they passed. I don't know what they did because they started doing pods and everybody doing video now just because, like, that's the best way to grow.
Yeah.
But we ain't here for the technical jargon.
They might need it. They might need it.
I mean,
CEO in the building, man. See, I told you we not doing that homo stuff this year, dog. CEO in the building, man. They know what time it is.
I'm just a one-man band trying to get in where I fit in, man. Like I said, I'm humble, objective dunk this year, man. I'm trying to grow it, trying to make the media platform, trying to branch out. So we'll see what happens.
For sure, man. For sure. Well, thank you so much for being here.
No doubt.
Let's just get right into it, bro. So, of course, their first day is today.
Yeah.
This is August 3rd. So it'll release a little bit later on. But their first day is today. To me, by far our worst practice in 7. I know FanFest. I didn't go to FanFest. I heard FanFest was what it was. And I don't know if it is part of the tradition just for us to get on the mic together after a terrible practice or what felt like a terrible practice. It felt like a terrible practice.
It was a terrible practice.
Low energy, no juice in the building, a lot of bad plays, in my opinion. A lot of bad plays from a running game standpoint. I saw a lot of throws missed. Now, given they weren't by Bryce, all of them. Bryce missed a couple. He's trying to get the ball out too quick, etc. But just what is your overall vibe from camp this year? I know, new setup. It is in Charlotte. But what have you learned so far? I know you've been here for about 3 or 4 days now, so
yeah,
what have you learned?
I got a couple under my belt. Last year, I was a little bit more thorough in terms of, like, analysis. Like, I was at every practice. I was recording every play. I was going back and watching every play, watching everybody on every play, like, literally getting everything. This year, it's a little bit different. The vibe's different, and so that's just kind of off for me in general. But I kind of agree. It wasn't horrible in the standpoint of, like, it was different than everything else. It was like, this is just how his field has been the past few days. Like, not necessarily, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the players not having a lot of energy. I don't know if it's a new coaching staff still trying to find their way on, like, how things flow and, like, what to do, because there's music playing, and, like, they seem pretty upbeat. There's not a lot of downtime at practice. It's just, it feels different, and, like, I agree. Like, the energy feels a little weird. It feels uneventful, even though when you think about it, when I made my video today, a lot of stuff happened. A lot of news dropped. There was a workout. We finally got a deep pass. A bunch of people didn't practice, so we found out about that. We found out about Jonathan Brooks. We found out about all kind of stuff. Like, news happened, but it just didn't feel like much happened. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of how it's felt the few days I've been there. It just, like I said, I don't know if it's just being in a new location that's throwing it off, just a new regime. This team is just in a weird spot because they have vet leaders, but they're not, like, I don't know. They're not animated. They're not very, like, outspoken type of guys that put their imprint. They may be good behind-the-scenes locker room guys, but they're not the type that you're going to feel their presence,
Right.
like from a Cam aspect or even a Luke aspect or a Thomas Davis aspect. Like, you feel their presence just because they keep it light, and that trickles down because then you have other personalities like, I'm just throwing it back, like Captain Munnerlin when he was there or whoever, you know what I'm saying? Like, even the guys that aren't necessarily the stars of the team, they still have
like Charles Johnson falls in that category to a certain degree.
Like, so there's a different type of vibe, and the leaders that they've put the franchise into the hands of, that's just where we go, like, with them. And that's kind of how they are. When you talk about a Derek Brown, he's not very outspoken or braggadocious. Maybe if he was more, he would be respected a little bit more around the league. But that's neither here nor there. I think that's just a vibe. They've taken on the personality of the leaders, which is Bryce Young pretty much, I guess, by default, and Derek Brown. They just very laid-back people, so they're not high-energy guys. So it definitely feels different, though, man. I'm not a big fan of the vibes in general all the time, but I don't think it was any different today than any other time.
It feels like a losing culture. That's what it feels like to me.
It feels lost more than losing. Like, I don't think they know what losing is. I don't think they know what winning is. They don't know what they're doing exactly. They're trying to find their way. They lost.
And do you think that is because of Dave Canales and this being his first year as a head coach? Do you think that's a direct reflection of that, or do you think that it's more so the players?
It's a little bit of both because he's energetic, but he's not high energy. He gives that real Joel Osteen type of vibe, you know what I'm saying? Like,
very much so.
Very warm and It ain't like Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll will be clapping around, running around, jumping around, like kind of like elbowing and joshing guys, whatever, like that type of nagging on and playing. Because I kind of compare them to just because of the vibes. But like I said, he's energetic, but he's not high energy. So it's going to be different. And the players feed off of the coach too. But at the same time, like I said, it's the players that are in place. Brian Burns wasn't that type of high energy guy, but he's gone. Shaq's here, but Shaq's not that type of guy. JC, he can be, but he's not practicing full time either. And so it's just things are just in a weird spot. We're in the transition period, and they're, like I said, they're just trying to find who they are and find their way.
Yeah, it feels nasty. It feels nasty. And to be honest, like I was telling them earlier, that overall for me, because I've been here since the start. Overall for me, like it's felt good on certain days, but overall it's just something is missing. Something is missing, and you know how I am. I'm loud, I'm energetic, whatever the case may be, and it just seems like we don't have, like you mentioned, we don't really have those leaders that have the ability to pull that out of the team, it seems like. And like you said, the team is, at this point, it seems like 7 days into camp, the team is assuming that personality, and I personally don't know how I feel about it. Like Terrence mentioned earlier today that there just seemed to be a lack of sense of urgency today. It seemed like that was the case. It seemed like guys were kind of dragging along. I don't know, man. I don't know.
It felt like they were like just going through the motions. Like I seen a lot of walking. Like I seen a lot of half-assing. I wouldn't really say half-assing drills. Like some from like Deontay Johnson. Like I seen him throwing a hissy fit today, and I was just like, bro, yeah,
low key,
yeah,
low key.
And I was like, bro, like, come on, bro, like, just get back in line and run the route again. I don't know what the communication was between him and Jack Plummer. Somehow the ball ain't get thrown. Deontay Johnson stopped running the route, and I was just like, and he just threw his hands up and was like moping around, like mad about it. And I'm like, bro, get back in line. Like, okay, it's cool. Like, I understand there was a miscommunication, but at the same time, like, this is not the time to, like, bring the energy down, where there's barely any energy there to start with. So that kind of threw me off. And, yeah, I just feel like it was not really any sense of urgency. And my thing with Dave Canales is, I don't know, maybe I judged the guy wrong. I was thinking, like, he was one of those coaches that was like high energy, that was like, because in the blueprint you would see him like doing a couple of drills with the players, like same with the OC. And I just feel like those kind of coaches, like the players would respond in a better way with more energy than they did today. But like this is my first day here, so I'm like, has this been like this the whole time? Like what's going on? Like, so I felt like he wasn't really producing that energy, so they didn't really have anything to feed off of. And I think it starts with the coaches, like. Yeah, so I don't know.
Coaches and leaders, bro.
Something was off.
I'll say this, and what you said kind of like made me think about it. Today was a little bit different. They didn't have pads on, and it was the first day after having a day off. Dave Canales talked about in that little walkthrough thing they were doing. They were flat, and Derek and Bryce kind of got them together, and the energy increased, and he was happy from there. I think today lacked competition because if you're a competitor. And this was just for me playing ball. It was always like we were on the same team, but it was always like a offense versus defense thing. It was all like we hated them dudes all the time. Like there used to be fights during receivers one-on-one type stuff just because like they would keep score and they knew punishment was push-ups and running. And so that ain't the worst thing in the world, but it was still competition. And y'all know me. We was throwing the darts. You throw darts out there, you give me whatever. We gonna compete, and it makes it a lot more interesting. Darts is a very niche sport, but you put some scores in there. I'm actually kind of decent at it, and it's fun. Like I'm gonna be like the competitors gonna come out of me, and the energy is gonna be there, and it's gonna be hype. Like darts ain't really hype like that, but when people are competing, like even in the Olympics, it's random sports. But when you have guys at the highest level, ping pong, it gets like. You can feel the energy, and I think that they lack competition. There was no one-on-ones today from the offensive line or receivers and stuff, and it seemed like the team period was like, okay, they did team, but it, like I said, it just doesn't seem like there's a ton of back and forth where plays are being made here, players are being made there. It's just like, okay, woo, woo, woo. And like, back in the day, it was Thomas Davis versus Cam. Like, it was cool, but you know they was gonna bark
Going
at each
to war,
other
for
and
sure.
stuff like that. So I just think it's lacking that type of competition. That's gonna bring out the fire automatically because dudes are naturally competitors. You're not gonna be able to hold that back. You know, even if you are a laid back dude, when you start competing, it's gonna come out regardless if that's in you. So I just thought it was missing that.
Yeah, and I was like, well, maybe like I didn't give a fair assessment because one, they didn't have pads on.
Yeah.
So I feel like they couldn't really go like they wanted to. But in that same breath, it's like, I mean, bro, like show that you want to be here at least. Like you're already taking up 2 hours of your day, 2-3 hours of your day. You're here already. Yeah. You might as well come out here and compete. Yeah, like you might as well come out here with some high level energy for at least 2 to 3 hours for the fans that's watching, your folks in the stands. Like, give us something. And there was like nothing there. I didn't feel anything there. So, I mean, maybe it was just one of those like walk through practices. Like maybe that was the tone set before the practice. Like, okay, today, you know, y'all are coming off a break. We're just gonna go through the motions. Like, you know, have a little walkthrough. It's not going to be anything super crazy. But I was confused because I thought I seen them come out with pads. Like, I thought I seen players come out with pads unless I'm tripping.
Some of them do spider pads be looking big.
Shells,
Like, Black Shear, his look huge. His like real shoulder pads. But like, Taylor Moton looked like he got on a blazer, like a 90s blazer with shoulder pads in it.
Yeah, so I was like, maybe, I don't know if they got there. Because I thought they came out with pads. So I was like, I don't know if they got there. And they was just like, okay, we're not going to be doing any pads today, by the way. But I don't know. Something was off. I ain't like it.
Yeah. I would say the energy was definitely off. And like you said, one of those competitive stages was not in today's practice, particularly with the one-on-ones, with the secondary and the wide receivers. I want to kind of switch our focus there a little bit. I want to know, because I saw what you said on Twitter about receivers. So I want to know who right now at this very second, you can only take 5. You can only take 5, and I want to know who those 5 are. And I want it in a particular order. I want it 1 through 5. I'm kind of putting you on a hot seat a little bit right now, but I want to know where your head is at. And after that, I want to know what you think the Carolina Panthers will do. Because in my opinion, I think that the Carolina Panthers have to take 6. And I really feel like they almost need to take 7 with the way Coker is playing. But I want to know what you think.
6 is the bare minimum. Just FYI, I don't think they're taking any. If they take anything less than 6, they're playing with fire. Just from that standpoint of, they're just playing with fire. The 5, Deontay, Thielen, Mingo, Leggett, obviously. If I'm going just based off of camp.
Yeah, to go based off of camp.
It's TMJ, then Leggett. Those are the 5.
Okay.
Just
and then 6?
6 would probably be, and it's tough because it's very muddy there. Coker has done okay. I mean, he's an undrafted free agent. I think there's a lot of hope for him, so people have camp goggles for him. But I like ISM, obviously, but he ain't really been getting that type of return stuff, so, like, they're trying something different. Devin, I think it's Devin Tompkins, number 12.
Number 12, yeah.
The water bug. But he came in the first day he showed up. He was a problem. He probably not bigger than me. He was a problem. He has experience with them. He can return. He's lightning quick. And Dave Canella said it. He brings something to the group that we don't have, and that's just a little bit more juice and wiggle. So I think he has a legit shot if he keeps it up. Obviously, the games are going to probably make or break the back end of the receiver group. The 4 I named, the first whatever. I mean, I think the 5 I named are locks. TMJ hasn't done anything to lose it. They may trade him if he does well, but I think those are locks. But what they'll do is probably what I said. In that 6 person, if they do 6,
it gets really difficult, doesn't it?
I don't know who they like the most because I don't know who's made really a lot of plays like that that's just differentiated, separate themselves from each other. But I would just, off the strength of his return ability, I would probably say ISM. That's what I would say.
I like ISM too. Would you like to give me your list?
I think
did we do this earlier? I can't remember.
No, we didn't. But I think mine is relatively the same. I got Deontay Johnson. I got Adam Thielen. I got Mingo. I got Terrace Marshall. I got X. And then in the 6th spot, I I think I would go based off of what I seen today. I would either go, what's his name, Jalen Croker?
Yeah.
Or
Jalen Coker, yeah.
Yeah, I will go him. Just based off of what I seen today. Obviously, this is my first day out there, so
He had a big play today.
Yeah, he did. He did.
So.
He did.
But I'm glad you mentioned number 12 because I kept telling him, I was like, I don't know who number 12 is, but he is fast.
Yeah.
I was like,
Quick, bro.
bro is moving.
He moving different than everybody else, man.
I was like, he little, he little, but he moving.
Yeah, for sure. Secondary.
Yeah.
Secondary. If people recall, if they're subscribe to your channel, if they follow us, whatever the case may be.
Better be.
Yeah, absolutely. If you don't already, right now, close the video out. Keep letting it play. Close the video down. Go over to Unnecessary Bluntness right now. Hit that subscribe button. Do the same thing. Subscribe. Turn the bell notification on. Ding. There you go. If I say you do it for us, you got to do it for you.
I'll be ready next time.
For sure. But yeah, go do that right now. Great content. Like I said, by far one of the best in this space. And I tell Dunk all the time, I was a fan before we became brothers. And, so great content being made over there. But back in, what was it, April when we went to Atlanta? Was it March or April? One of the two.
It was April.
It was pre-draft.
I think it was April.
Yeah, it was April, yeah.
Pre-draft in April, we come down, we do a collaborative episode on Panthers banter. And the discussion comes up about what the Carolina Panthers should do regarding draft. And you made it a huge point to say that the Carolina Panthers needed to go a defensive back. How do you feel about the secondary right now, just based off of what you've seen? And are you okay with what the Carolina Panthers ended up doing with taking Jonathan Brooks, and what do you think he'll end up being like?
I'm not okay overall because they didn't listen to me, clearly. After all I was saying about them having DBs, they didn't listen to me. But they had us thinking that Gilmore was the bird in the hand or whatever.
Yes.
So we thinking like, all right, we good. Like that's what the I don't know, the Kool-Aid drinkers tried to sell us when we were being negative about it. Regardless, I think that was a misstep. They made a couple missteps in the draft, like in hindsight at this point, seeing them on the field now. And that we ain't talking about the O-line, but center was a miss from them not taking one.
Corbett has been struggling. There's been a couple of terrible snaps, which is something that I haven't talked about, but that has definitely been a problem.
It throws off the timing and everything. But regardless, corner, they should have did it. They should have did something. And they didn't. I guess it came down to bread for Gilmore. Like I said, we'll see what Anthony Brown does by the time this video drops. It's TBD, but my prospects of him aren't high. But if he probably came in on the vet men, then maybe all we could afford. You can't, you know what I'm saying? You can't be shopping at Whole Foods when you're on the Aldi budget. So
Facts.
I guess we gotta do what we gotta do. But I'm getting 2016 secondary vibes, if y'all remember that. That was post-Norman when we went 3 rookie corners in the draft with Bradbury, Sanchez, and Worley.
Sanchez gave me nightmares.
And
What's his name? Zach
Sanchez, yeah, from Oklahoma.
Oh, my God.
But it's not that bad, obviously, because we have JC, but that's just the vibes I get when he's not out there. Because they're, like I said, having him on that pitch count, you get a preview of what may happen if, knock on wood, something happens. But as far as Brooks, I wasn't mad at it. And it's a play for the future. And I like his game. I know some people want to trade Benson out of Florida State, who's healthy, of course. But I just think that Brooks has a little bit more wiggle than Trey Benson. I think he's bigger. I think he's younger, has less mileage. I think he has a better all-around game as a runner. And this is just my opinion as a former running back. Like I just like him a little bit better, and I think out of the backfield and all that, he'll be better down in the long run. Now, what does the long run look like? Because if stuff hits the fan this year, what are we going to look like anyway in the future? I don't know. But some people think we should have went center in the second round because they were there, options were there. And some people think we should have did a few different things. But I wasn't mad at the Brooks pick. I'm cool with them slow playing it. There's no point in forcing it. I keep telling people Jonathan Stewart as a rookie, he hurt his toe. I think he had toe surgery, but he hurt his toe, and he missed a good chunk of training camp as a rookie too clearly that worked out for us in the long run. So I'm cool with being patient with Brooks on that front.
Got you. You got something?
Well, as everyone knows by now, I hated the pick. It wasn't my favorite. And I think we were in agreement, like, they needed to go corner at some point. Like, we needed to get a corner because we talked about it. Like, at this point, you're looking at Deshaun Jameson, Dane Jackson, and Troy Hill. Like, that's what we're looking at. Take JC out of the equation.
Boodle. You got Boodle.
Yeah, Boodle.
Okay. Whoever that is. Okay, cool.
DiCaprio. Yeah, DiCaprio.
Okay.
He got some burn last year.
Okay, you got him. Okay, cool. But
And he locked up DJ in that Chicago game when we played them.
When we pulled
He had
up,
some good.
we pulled up
He
in
had
the
some
city.
good. He had some good reps. That's probably his best game, but he had some good reps.
that doesn't make me feel any better. I'm not gonna lie.
Not playable.
I mean, he's playable, but are we going for playable right now? I mean, now we have to go for
Yeah,
playable, but we were in a position to where we didn't have to go for playable. So it's like, yeah, I didn't agree with the Jonathan Brooks pick. Like, and like you said, I think it's a play for in the future. But if we're looking at him not being healthy for 3 to 5 weeks or week 3 or week 5, like, that's scary of what we're gonna have in the secondary. Like, they legit put fear. Like, when I watch them, like it's a fear factor. Like, cause I'm just like, there's no way that we roll this out, and then you go and get Charles Smith-Wade, and I'm like, come on, I don't get it. Like, I just didn't get it, and
it felt forced, and not putting him on the same plane. It felt like the DJ Johnson pick. Like, we got desperate with DJ Johnson. Like, all the edges
Nasty.
were gone,
Yeah,
so we just
nasty.
picked one, and that's kind of
Yeah.
how I felt with Shaw. All the corners were gone, so we were just like, fuck. And I think the real problem was not the Brooks. Because they could have, I think they moved back too far in that 5th round because a couple good corners went right before them, and they just got desperate, in my opinion.
What's your boy's name from Wake Forest?
Caleb Carson.
Carson, yeah.
Yeah, he was still available in the 5th, correct?
Yeah.
Carson, I think Cam Hart might have been top of the 4th, something like that, around there, in the same area. All of them, it was a run on corners, and I think they panicked.
And I told JJ, I was like, because he was like, I don't know why you don't like Jonathan Brooks. Like, I think it was a great
Try to
pick.
tell him just relax, bro. Just relax.
And I'm like, no,
Just
I was
relax.
like, the only way that I'll feel better about it is if we did get Gilmore. And that just didn't happen. So,
And I told him, I will tell you exactly what I told him. I said, Gilmore's a lock. Just relax.
yeah, that's
So
what he
just
said.
wait till after training camp. I guarantee. And unfortunately, it doesn't seem like that's going to be the case.
So we settled with Anthony Brown.
Yeah,
They said we
he's
got-
serviceable.
They said we got corner at home.
That's nasty work. I'm not gonna lie. Bryce Young, we had a conversation. I don't want to revisit it just because we spent quite a good amount of time on it. But I do want to see what you have to say regarding what you've seen from him this camp. I was telling him earlier that I felt like he has improved in certain areas. I know that 2.7 number is being thrown around. I know that that's a heavy emphasis as it pertains to Dave Canales and his expectation. For me, I've seen him be very streaky this camp. I've seen him miss a couple of throws that I saw him struggle with last year. So, kind of slow on development end on that. Excuse me. But really just want to know what you think in regards to what you've seen from Bryce Young. Any improvements, any regressions, stuff that you think he has an issue with that he needs to work on, etc. Just what you've seen overall from Bryce Young 2024 training camp.
I'm definitely seeing an improvement. It just depends, like, what is your sliding scale on how much and what's good enough. And obviously, there's more. The book is still being written as we go because it's day 7 of training camp right now. We ain't even really gotten to the meat and potatoes. Like, we haven't got the joint. We'll find out soon and very soon in preseason. I'm sure they're gonna play. But I do think the arm strength, the just like mechanically and arm strength wise, like the footwork. Not necessarily footwork. I'll just say the base and throwing form that he's been throwing with has allowed him to show a little bit more arm strength. He's been driving throws. I've seen he's made a lot of. It might not be deep passes, but like the far hash out routes, those are the NFL throws. Throwing to the sideline from the far hash. That's literally if you can make those type of throws. That's just kind of the scale that they put on. Like, okay, hey, that's kind of the barometer because that's a long throw, and those passes can get undercut. You can miss them. You throw them too far inside, they're gonna get undercut. So he's been driving those throws, and it's noticeable amount of zip on the ball this year than last. And he's gonna make his money short and intermediate anyway. I know people love the long pass, but that's just never going to be his game, unfortunately. He's not going to be able to consistently push the ball down the field on a vertical plane. Deep crossers, post routes, that's going to be more his game. Throwing on time, that's going to be more his game. He's never going to be that type of guy that's just going to – he's not going to be a Drake May or a Josh Allen type of guy that consistently just sling the ball deep down the sidelines late in the down. Like, it'll be – he can throw it with timing and get it there and be fine, but that's just never going to be his game. But in terms of just everything else, like playing in rhythm, trying to – I've seen that. I think the scramble drill has been a lot better for him, and which is kind of hard to believe because that's kind of what his specialty is. But I felt like Canales and them have kind of leaned into it. I think their blocking scheme, it's 2.7 or less, but I think it's more so like you need to make a choice. You need to either get the ball out to the check down or you need to get out of the pocket and make something happen. Because there's been clips and people have been like, why is he leaving the pocket so early? And it feels like, and I said it before on the stream, and it's not to crown him Patrick Mahomes, but it kind of feels like how Kansas City does. Kansas City, they have their interior that's pretty stout, and they let Pat call it a second play. The scramble drill is a whole nother play for them. And sometimes he'll get out of the pocket too early too and just create there. And so I think they've tried to say, hey, interior, stand strong. Tackles, take them wherever they go. Bryce will find out his way out of the trash, and then let's make a play. That's where you saw Mingo coming up big, and they finally saw that chemistry developing. So I think just that added chemistry he's built has helped. Another year of experience has just helped. He seems a little bit more comfortable out there, but until he's like tangible, it'll be tough until we get into some action in his live bullets.
For sure. You mentioned the O-line earlier as well. Of course, Ikem Ekwonu. he suffered a tough year last year. Large regression from him. What have you seen from him just up until this point? I will say, just for whatever it's worth, Jadeveon Clowney has been my camp MVP up to this point. But off of that, Ikem Ekwonu, what do you think about him and what is to be expected in that regard?
It's tough because, like, offensive lineman, when you don't hear anything, it's like, oh, dang, that's a good thing. I haven't really noticed like something's going bad. But at the same time, when you look at our edge group, it's Jadeveon Clowney and the Jags. There's a bunch of Jags after him. Like,
yes,
who is really challenging and push? Because Clowney don't really rush from. He rushes from the left side almost every time.
Yeah.
So who's challenging Icky in practice? You know, he was going against Burns last year a lot, and they were kind of going at it. But who's challenging him this year? You know, that's really going to press the buttons that he struggled with to see if he's better. Like, who's going to try to run the hoop on him? Because we know sometimes he'll let that happen. Who's going to try to come and do a counter move inside and try to beat? Who has the bag to really challenge him like that? So we really don't know. Same thing with Icky. We won't know until there's live bullets. And the system, ideally, getting the ball out quick should help. Play action should help. Running the ball should help in theory. But they don't play football on paper. So time will tell with Icky. I have, like I said, I haven't really noticed anything glaring, which is probably a good thing. So we're gonna see. That's my hashtag for this year. We're gonna see.
We're gonna see for sure.
I ain't making no strong predictions. Well, I make strong predictions, but half the time we just gonna see.
Yeah,
that got us in a lot of trouble last year.
That's why I said I ain't jumping the gun on nothing. We gonna see.
Did you have anything?
Nah, not really.
Okay, cool. I have something for you. You just tell me this off of camp, based off of what you know roster wise. Just tell me loss or win. Okay.
You going game by game?
Yes.
Okay.
Just very, very, very quickly. You don't even have to expound. I just want your immediate answer. New Orleans.
That's a
week
win.
1.
That's a win.
Okay. LA.
Loss. What, Chargers?
Yes.
If Herbert plays, it's a loss, but he may be.
Yeah, they say he might not
have a bad go at it. Yeah.
Yeah, they say he might be hurt all year. He might just have to play through it. So he may be. Who knows? But our defense ain't good enough to stop anybody, in my opinion. So, and I don't see us scoring 30 points a game. So it's probably an L. It's probably an L. So
home opener. Okay. Vegas. We gotta win that one. We can't go on the road 2 years in a row, bro.
I would say it's an L. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think I ain't gonna expand, but I think it's an L.
That's enough to make me crash out in Vegas. But yeah, continue.
Well, no, actually, I would like for you to expound. Just like a couple quick bullet points.
Devontae Adams is the best receiver in football. We do not have great corners outside of JC. Now, granted, JC will probably shadow. He'll have to. But it's just hard for me. I mean, I don't know what all Vegas has. I mean, they got a couple of guys, I guess. They picked up Brock Bowers, and their quarterback situation is a mess, but Jacoby Myers, and they got Gardner Minshew, I think, is going to be their guy. So, I don't know, man. I don't like where we are currently. You asked me based off of camp. So
yes, no, 1,000%.
That's what on paper, I would say, like before that, I would say, yeah. Like I said, I just got to see preseason too. I'm not going to really make anything strong predictions on how we're going to be, but I think Vegas would be a close loss, but I would love to win.
Okay.
For sure.
So 1-2. Cincinnati.
Loss.
Chicago.
Win. We got to win, but we ain't going to win. I don't think. It's just too much talent on their side, and we don't have the depth at corner. They got a lot of receivers.
Yeah, they do.
God.
That's gonna make me crash out because they fans like running their mouth.
Yeah,
they fans like chatting on Twitter too.
Only online, they don't be like that in real life.
That's what I try to tell them.
I know. They be real soft in real life.
We were all three in the city, in the stadium. We were making ourselves known. Nobody said nothing.
They're not like that in real life.
They had the whole side, every section beside on either side of us was hot.
I can't take them serious, bro. They not like that in real life.
Oh God,
man. That stadium trash too.
Oh my God, one of the
Food
worst.
was
in the
mud
NFL.
too. My bun for my little chopped chicken sandwich was soggy as on. Yeah, just an overall terrible stadium. But go ahead.
So Chicago is a loss. Atlanta,
That's a
home.
home Atlanta.
Atlanta.
It's probably an L.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I just don't know what Atlanta's going to look like at all. Like I have a bigger question mark on them than I do on us. Like
I think they win the division.
Atlanta, I don't think they're going to be as good as people think they are, but they may be good enough. But I'm not going to sleep on the Bucks either. But I'll say an L.
Okay. Washington.
A dub.
Okay. Denver.
There's no way
It's
you're struggling
alarming.
on,
Hey,
on Denver.
no, it is, and that's what's alarming about this. Because he's been at camp for 4 days, right? This is day 4.
It should be a dub because I just don't like Sean Payton, and I don't believe in Bo Nix. If he's gonna be starting, I'm assuming he's gonna be starting. If Bo Nix walk, because he's at home.
This is in Denver. I'm pretty sure.
In Denver, yes.
Yeah, we should smoke Bo Nix. So yeah, I'm taking the W there.
Okay, so he's at what, 2 or 3 wins? 3. Okay.
It's gonna get ugly that back half of the schedule, so we ain't gotta spend a ton of time.
Okay. New Orleans at home.
I'm gonna say L. We're gonna split with them, in my opinion. They're not good though. Either game can go either way, but I think we split. I would love to sweep. I think the sweep is on the table with them.
I think so too. I think a sweep is on the table with them every year. Or maybe I'm jaded. New York in Germany.
Giants.
Yes.
I'm taking the win there, but it's gonna be tough. It just depends how our offense plays, but I don't believe in what they have going on offense. Just from watching Hard Knocks in there, I think it's a win.
Okay.
It better be. I'm gonna be there.
Are you? Vegas and Germany.
Yep.
Let me hold $1 or $2 if you don't mind.
Look, man.
Then we have the bye, Kansas City. I got ridiculed for this earlier in the offseason.
This is a L.
Okay.
Show me my money.
No problem. We have a bet on that game.
You think we gonna win?
I don't know why he said
I think it's
that.
going to be a trap game.
For who?
For Kansas City. For Kansas City. I think Kansas City is going to start off playing good football. Might come into, what is this, week 12?
They're going to walk us up and down BOA.
What's the date?
November 24th.
Yeah, they're like ridiculously good at that time of year. from like then on to like obviously February, they're like
in their groove at that point.
So you know what you got to do? Stretch them. Simple.
I mean, I guess if they play like Philly or like San Fran the following week, I guess it could be a trap game.
Yeah.
I don't know who they
Yeah.
are.
It's winnable, bro. It's winnable. Or
I mean, any game is winnable. It's the NFL, but are we going to do it? I don't think so.
Okay. This is your prediction.
It'd be fun to see them at home, though.
Yeah.
Tampa, loss.
Okay. Philly,
Loss.
Dallas,
Loss.
Arizona,
It's probably a loss. I'm not going to lie to
Tampa
you.
Bay,
Loss.
Atlanta. In Atlanta.
That's a win.
Okay. What was it? 5?
I got us in the 5 and 6 area. I think 6 is the
5
is
and
the
11?
magic number.
Or 5 and 12?
Yeah.
Well, you would love
That's
to hear
what they
this.
both-
That's where me and Tavian had
Yeah, I was
it.
about to say that's where
5 and
they
12.
Yeah, I was like, after today, I had us at 7 and 10 before I seen any camp. This was early prediction before the season started. After today, I said, yeah, take that down to 5. Go ahead and drop some games off of that.
And I think we can catch a few teams slip. It just depends. We're going to have to get the wins early because that back, like I said, that back half is brutal.
You looking at probably you can be seeing like a 5-game losing streak.
But it ain't no slouches early on like Cincy.
Cincy is tough. Cincy is tough.
But they usually struggle early on in the year. Like Joe Burrow, I mean, granted, he ain't finished the season since whatever, but they usually week 1 and the first couple weeks of the season. I mean, you just never know. There's a lot of stuff that can happen. Like that Herbert stuff came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
you know,
very
like,
true. Very
you
true.
just never know. But granted, when we get good, quote unquote, good breaks, it never really matters anyway. Somebody just steps up in their place and just goes crazy out of nowhere. Like we make household names out of people.
I ain't recovered from what Cincy did to us the other year.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Still
Joe
ain't
Mixon
recovered.
had 4
I
touchdowns,
know.
yo.
It was embarrassing. I think that might have been one of the worst games of Panthers football I've ever seen.
Yeah. I mean, you talk about just getting walked up
Yeah.
and down the field.
The resistance of wet toilet, the equivalent of resistance of wet toilet paper, bro. Like
We seen the Terrace Marshall side in that game.
And-
though.
and-
in
you know
garbage
what?
time.
Yeah,
Tommy
you know,
Tremble scored that
That's
game.
exactly what I was about to say. And leave it to Panthers fans to take a moral victory from damn TMJ making one measly ass catch. But I digress, man. I get it. I'm on the TMJ hype train this year. Everybody has a clean slate
on
except for Icky. Yeah, for sure. I'm locked in. I already told him earlier. It was either him or Dylan. But somebody said that TMJ was still getting cut. And I said no. He's turned up this
I don't think he's
this
getting
training
cut.
camp.
I think he's either going to make the team
Was
or
it
get
Dylan or
traded.
you?
I didn't say that.
Oh, okay. It was Dylan then.
A good preseason from him will get him traded finally. He been trying to get out of here for 2 years, it seemed like.
KC.
And you already know how I feel about John. That's really, and I tried to tell them too, let Deontay, respectfully, let him keep doing all that crying shit. And watch how quick John becomes our receiver number 1. And I know that you're gonna look at me crazy. And I know when I say it, they're gonna look at me crazy. But it's okay. It's okay. He been working with bro.
Wide receiver 1 in what aspect? Like numbers or like he's
Everything.
the first in the progression? He's going to win consistently on the outside.
Everything.
He's going to – oh.
They're gonna go to Deontay as the first read every time. We
'cause he's a
already
winner.
heard that. Yeah, he wins. Yes, absolutely.
Mingo don't win like that.
give him the ball.
But in the scramble drill, will he be able to make plays when he gets the ball in his hands? Probably. He could be productive from that standpoint. Like I said, numbers-wise, he could end up being early on the top guy just because I think finally – because last year he didn't go out to California. He wasn't with the team when they did that little throwing workout pre-camp.
No,
he
he
had his
wasn't.
own receiver coach.
That didn't teach him shit.
and
Obviously. Matter of fact, I shouldn't say that. See, we've been trying to do better. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. I take it back. My
Be
apologies.
that as it is or be that as it may. You see the difference when he showed up to the workout versus when he
Facts.
did.
Facts.
Him and Bryce, who's Bryce been looking for in the scramble drill a lot? It's either him or Thielen. More often than not, it's been Mingo. You know, Mingo had a nice little catch today on that. So, I mean, I think it's not going to be pretty how Mingo does it, but it'll be catching some hitches and get some extra yards. It may be a crossing route. It may be the scramble drill. It ain't going to be nothing like – I don't think he's just a one consistent outside winner like Deontay is. But he's been hooping, but we're going to see.
Yeah. I mean, it looks good in camp. It looks good in
You
camp.
don't see.
Because I remember last year in camp, Brian Burns, I thought he was going to have 15 sacks.
I thought DJ Chark was a 1,000-yard wide receiver.
Yeah. So, yeah. Off of that, this is a ongoing conversation on this set. Deontay Johnson, do we pay him now and lock him up?
No.
Or do we go ahead and just let him play it out and let him walk the next offseason? Because he's not coming back. I've been trying to tell them this the whole time. He's not coming back if he hits free agency. He's not. This is his last year on the contract.
I disagree.
Okay.
I disagree on that part, but I don't think they extend him. For one, I just don't. I just don't know how this year is gonna go. Like, I don't know. But I don't think you extend him now because if you over here signing Anthony Brown, like you don't have receiver money to extend during the year. Like, what you gonna do? Like, what cap space you have to
give him $1 million this year and give him whatever he wants the following years, fully guaranteed. Because what I've been trying to tell them, the complaint last season was Bryce doesn't have weapons. He doesn't have time to get the ball out. Cool. We fixed all of those problems. And so now what you're going to do, because I think that it's safe to say that Xavier Legette seems to be a longer project, right? Because he not Malik Neighbors. We're not getting a highlight. We're not getting a highlight or two every practice.
There's a reason Malik Neighbors was drafted where he was drafted.
Sure, absolutely. So I think he's going to take a little more time. And I think that Deontay Johnson, even though people will say he hasn't proved it, whatever, I don't care. I think Deontay Johnson is a wide receiver one. And I think for your young rookie quarterback who has his pros, has his cons, has his strengths, has his weaknesses, a guy that can consistently win like Deontay Johnson must be locked up. Because unfortunately, there are no big-name free agent wide receivers that are coming to Carolina. We already show really an inability to draft. Now, given I know that previous regime, so I'll give that. But I think that you play a very, very risky game if you let him play out this season without a contract. I almost don't even care if it's just a 2-year deal. Because my whole thing is, if you got a guy in your system that you already said is going to be the first read every single time, confirmed via the blueprint, you went to that man and told him every single play, we're looking at you. First progression is through you. You tell a guy that and then you just let him walk in the offseason, I don't like it. You shore him up now before he goes for a band, 1,100, 1,150, whatever he does, and then now you're looking at, instead of 23.5, 24, now you're looking at 28, 29, 30.
He's not getting $30 million for a 1,000-yard year. He's going to have 1,200 yards and double-digit touchdowns to get
Do you
that.
think, but that's possible. It's possible.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I just don't see it.
Okay.
And we have not played a game yet. Let me just put that out there. So I'm not trying to be that. I just don't want to be over ambitious. I always thought that the sweet spot for him was anywhere between 1,000 to 1,100 yards would be a nice spot for him. It will get him probably in the mid-20s, maybe a little bit under. I don't know what DJ getting now. His old contract was about 22, 23. It would be somewhere in that ballpark range. And I think DJ Moore is better, but I still think he can be in the ideal offense in a good setting. I think he has the ability to be that top 20, top 15 area receiver. Like I said, in that little lump where DJ Moore is in the league, I think he's that type of guy. He's not a big play threat like DJ, so I think he's just a little bit below DJ, but in terms of price tag. Why would he take a 2-year deal, though, when he knows the market is ridiculous? Why not? Why even take that right now?
You ain't telling him nothing we ain't already told him. I said you won't get a dime out of me until I see you play.
Well, he won't get a Deontay hater.
I'm not.
So,
I'm not a Deontay hater.
He actually said, I think if I'm not mistaken, on a couple episodes back, he said that Deontay Johnson wouldn't eclipse 850. I believe that was the number. Maybe I'm wrong. Y'all can pull it. It's on the channel.
Y'all can pull it, and it was not just solely based on because I don't think he has the inability to play, but you also got Adam Thielen, who was Bryce's favorite target last year, and you just seen it makes that statement even more true. The way you're gassing up Jonathan Mingo, the way we've seen Terrace Marshall play. You still have X, who you drafted in the first round, so that makes that number all the more true that he might not get 850.
Okay.
And
we've had this conversation ad nauseum. I'm not gonna hold you because I think you shore him up now. I don't even think you let him have the opportunity to step on the field without a contract.
It's a low-risk trade. The only way it would be mismanagement, in my opinion. And not just – I like Deontay. I'm not even saying it from his point of view, like where I don't like him and like I'm just whatever. It's just – to me, it's just bad management to do that because you made a good deal because you're going to cut Dante Jackson anyway. You got something out of it, and you got a position of need, and you got – your number one receiver for better or for worse. Now, where does he rank amongst wide receiver ones in the league? That's to be, you can debate that. I would have to look at the list. But I think doubling down on it without knowing, because he's question marks about him. Regardless, like if stuff goes bad, does he get pissed off? If the O-line, because like he can't control the O-line. Bryce can't control the O-line. If the O-line is as bad as it is today, I mean, yeah, he threw that one up today, but Bryce would have been dead if 2 free runners come up the middle.
He would have been,
stretched.
Oh my God.
So like stuff gets frustrating, and there's a lot of factors that we don't know yet. We don't know how Canales is going to be in a new place. We don't know if he's going to be able to put an offense together. It sounds good on paper. Like I said, he got the Joel Osteen vibes, but people don't realize that last year there was a lot of controversy about him not being able to get Chris Godwin the ball. Chris Godwin still had, I think he had a 1,000-yard year, but like there's articles and stuff written about like them not figuring out how to get Chris Godwin the ball. I mean, obviously he's not the number one receiver, so he'll if that's what we're talking about, it should be fine. But I just think there's a lot of question marks that I wouldn't just put that money down yet, because that's the money that you ain't really got, you know.
By the way, he's saying I don't like Deontay Johnson because I said you don't pay him now. But other than that, I don't know exactly where that notion came from. I just don't think he's.
I talked about it like 4 weeks in a row.
He's as a good a receiver as JJ is making him out to be, and then the conversation got brung up about Jetta's money. I don't even know how that got thrown in the conversation. So that made the conversation go for a whole turn, and by default, I kind of had to slander his name because you're putting him in the same conversation as Jetta's.
So what conversation do you put him in?
What did we say? Devontae Smith.
Devontae Smith.
I think Devontae Smith is better, but I was like, okay, cool. If we
Devontae's also a wide receiver too. You know that, right? He has a wide receiver. He's a good wide receiver, but I don't think Devontae has wide receiver one upside. I think Deontay can, but that's just me.
What did you have to say?
Deontay Johnson's a wide receiver too on a better team.
I think
100%. But
that's why we put him in the same boat as Devontae Smith.
I just think
Devontae Smith would be a wide receiver one on the Panthers. If he came in the same situation as Deontay Johnson with Adam Thielen, Jonathan Mingo, and Terrace Marshall, Devontae Smith will be our wide receiver one.
I just don't think Devontae Smith is the type of guy that he's not the first look in the read. He can win, but I think Deontay can play X. He can play the Z. He can move around if you want him to. He can play in the slot. I don't see you putting Devontae Smith on the outside competing and winning. I mean, Devontae has made them type of catches, but like 50-50 balls, all like consistently when there's like nobody else. He's not that type of. I don't know. I'm not just because he's skinny. I'm not trying to front on him, but I don't know. I just don't think he has the game. Like, he would be the best receiver on the team. So, by default, technically, he's wide receiver one. But in terms of, like, how do you define wide receiver one is my question.
It was a certain point where Deontay Johnson, he wasn't the first read on the Steelers. It was George Pickens.
I mean, that's true, but
that relationship soured very quickly.
I'm just saying.
So, there was some stuff off the field, too.
Yeah.
So we're not just going to act like Deontay is just some hoe.
I'm not saying.
I just can't let you get it off, bro.
I'm not saying that.
And Devontae Smith is nice. So if that's the tier we put him in, then cool.
Wide receiver too.
There's just certain guys. I just don't think their game doesn't facilitate. Like, I don't think Waddle is a wide receiver one. I mean, he's good as hell, but I just don't think he has the game that he can be that type of guy, because I think you can neutralize him when he's that top guy. When there's other guys to worry about and you get that wide receiver 2 treatment, he's going to put up ridiculous numbers. But I just think when the coverage is dictated towards you and you're that main guy, it's different. I think Deontay Johnson has the skills to do that. Will he be able to? We'll see, because
if you're my wide receiver one, you better not be dropping passes. That's all I got to say.
I mean, drops happen.
About like the national media, bro.
the richest
one video.
The richest wide receiver in NFL history. How many drops did Tyreek Hill have last year? He had a ton of drops.
He had a whole bunch of drops.
He was up there in the league. And so it happens.
Yeah, but I'm just not gonna.
And it happens to the best. He probably could have went for 25 if he caught the pass.
Would have caught him.
Has Tyreek Hill had a known drop problem? Has that been his whole career, a known drop problem?
Yeah, pretty much. It's been fairly consistent.
Yeah, I just don't know if I agree with that.
It's look. When you do, just like when people have off the field trouble and you good at football, it overshadows that stuff. People make excuses when you can make plays. When you gonna give us what Tyreek, when you can change the game in an instant, we gonna overlook drops ever so often just because we know the next play you're gonna turn around and probably go over the top and literally run circles around NFL defenses. So you get a little bit more leash.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't agree.
Be that as it is, be that as it may. We gonna see.
Is Deontay better than Ayuk?
No.
He's not.
I don't
Like
So I'm just asking: has Ayuk not benefited from that? What you just referred to earlier, as far as having a God level weapons around him.
1,000%. 1,000%.
Okay. I'm just curious. I like asking questions.
What was your point you were
temperature?
getting?
Nothing. I just wanted to ask a question.
Somebody
in this room told me that Brandon Ayuk was worth 2 first-round picks. That's what I was told.
I guess it is Terrence you talking about.
No, it ain't.
No.
You said it was worth 2?
Yeah, delusional.
I said 1, maybe 2.
You think they getting 2 for him? He's gonna get traded.
I said 1, maybe 2.
He don't even think of first. He don't even think of first. But I think he's worth the first round.
Well, I mean, cool. He's going for a band. Cool. He's also had George Kittle. He's also had Deebo Samuel. He also had CMC to benefit. So, yeah, but that's fine. But if you can win and you have those weapons around you, bro, like it's hard because you're not going to. If he goes to Pittsburgh, it's different. If he goes to Pittsburgh, it's different. He's not just getting a band effortlessly like he did last year. It's just simply not happening. It's not happening. If he comes to Carolina, I don't know if he touches the band. If he comes to Carolina.
But Deontay Johnson does?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
I'm not going to let y'all keep playing with Deontay's top. Not going to let people keep playing with John's top. It's just not going that way. It's just not going that way.
The conversations you're throwing them in, though, like that's insane. And you say we playing with his top, but that's just a crazy statement.
Deontay Johnson being a wide receiver 1 in Carolina is more likely to get 1,000 yards probably than adding Brandon Ayuk currently, because then you add Brandon Ayuk and Deontay. How much better is our offense? Is it good enough to get 2,000-yard wide receivers? That's the question you got to ask. I don't see. Well, I gotta see our O-line get it together, bro. I'm getting the same vibes I got last year, bro, and I'm not looking over anything this year like I did last year. The interior was a problem last year, and I'm just not overlooking it again. Granted, Damian Lewis has been hurt, but our guards were hurt last year, so that proves my point again. It's feeling more like last year. So it's
scary hours.
We gonna see Thursday. And it sucks because I was talking to somebody in the stands. There's never been more pressure on a preseason probably in franchise. Because like after last year, we bought the vanilla vibes. We bought the vanilla ice cream. It was
Very
cool.
True.
This year, I don't think anybody is going for the excuses.
Oh, I'm not going for
They're believing exactly what we're going to see. They better treat that like it's week 1.
Yeah.
I don't want to see it's just we wanted to get Bryce a sweat, 2 drives, and nah. We need to see something out there. They need to run the ball like they say they're going to run the ball. Throw it around. Everybody need to play. I don't want to see Moton getting no more vet days because I think that's part of the reason why they having miscommunications. There's no reason why Taylor Moton should have 2 vet days in a row. If he's not hurt, he needs to be in there. And I'm cool with vet days. If you want to miss Fan Fest, fine. But multiple vet days in a row when we're having blown assignments up front, you have free runners coming consistently up the middle. You have Derek Brown wreaking havoc, who he does that to a lot of people. But I don't care. You're going to face good defensive tackles all year. Like, there's too much stuff to work out to be giving out free passes to guys and giving just willy-nilly days off. If you're not hurt, you need to get in there. Get mental reps at least. If you want a vet day, do it on a day like this when we're not in pass. But any other time, I need you on the field, bro.
And we went 2-15 last year. I just wanted to throw that into it as well. No, I hated that as well, but I didn't touch on it today. I didn't touch on it during this episode or the one we shot before this. But I'm glad you brought it up.
I'm cool.
He don't rock with us already.
I'm cool with certain vet days like Shaq. I think coming off of an injury at his big age, I think it's fine. Because we need Moton too, but like we seen how down bad we can be without Shaq. So, and behind him, it's gonna be
Nasty.
It's dark.
Nasty work. It's nasty work.
It's dark, but
and nasty work on a lot of the pieces on this roster right now.
I about need the offense to play the whole first quarter Thursday to make me feel. I don't need 2 drives and sit. I need to see something.
I would like them if they go. I want them to go past tomorrow. I want to see how they do tomorrow, and that'll let me know how I feel about. Well, no, I mean they still got 2 more practices, but they need to go past at least once or twice. It needs to be probably tomorrow and Monday need to be passed. Tuesday, take it light. Wednesday off, and let's get ready for the game. That's what I would think the ramp up should be. But I would not be mad at them playing the whole first quarter. If somebody gets hurt, so what?
Yeah, I need to see it for my mental.
And he said that on some of them not pre-draft, but like just the build up after he got hired that like they're gonna use preseason to take advantage of a time to compete. They're not gonna take it off of just being vanilla. They're gonna try to do what they got to do. And I think he agrees. Like, we were trash, bro. Like, we have too much stuff that we need to find out about a lot of people. You know, we need to find out about depth, but we need to find out about the starters too. So, like, you need to play these guys. Like, what are we saving it for? We're not going to compete for a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You know, like, so we got to evaluate, bro. So, I agree. I think, I mean, the first quarter is probably a little ambitious, but I don't want to see no 2 drives and out.
Yeah.
I mean, and the first quarter may just be 2 drives anyway. So you just depend on how football, you know how football is. It could be a 3 and out. They get a drive and we come back and have a drive and whatever. But I would like to see them move the ball. If they had 2 good drives where they moved the ball, even if they end up punting, let's say they get 2 first downs, punt, come down, maybe kick a field goal on the second. Like, I would be okay with that. But I want to see them move the ball because there's, like I said, there's other games, so there's no reason to trip on it. But like, I don't want to take any time. I don't want to just discount any opportunity for us to compete against somebody else that's not us and find out what we got and or get better.
I'm going to know everything I need to know August 15th, joint practice. I'm going to know everything I need to know about that interior line. I'm gonna know everything I need to know about them receivers when they see Sauce. I'm going to know everything I need to know if Jadeveon has just been dominating this line because they weak, like Brian Burns was doing last year. I'm going to see everything I need to see come August 15th.
The Jets ain't got the best O-line either, though.
True.
Oh, they just drafted somebody, though.
True point.
Jadeveon actually looks good. I'm not going to lie.
Jadeveon look like I'm scared with how good he looks because Brian Burns, we came to camp 2 days last year, and both of them days he dominated. He abused everybody up front. So I've been kind of skeptical, but it looks like this is for real. It looks like this is for real.
He got to stay healthy, but I'm just scared because he's old and he's not used to playing a full complement of snaps at his age because he played 57% of the snaps. I think I looked it up, and on defense, and then of those 57%, 75 were pass rush scenarios. We don't have the depth on our team like the Ravens for him to play that type of snaps. His snaps are gonna be way up, and traditionally he's been hurt. Like, let's be real, he's been hurt during the year. So
that's very true.
If you want to talk about something being bad, like if JC go down, that's gonna hurt.
Oh, it's gonna
if
be a wrap.
Jadeveon,
DJ Johnson,
and they've been.
I'm gonna be out there regardless.
I'm gonna just say this. And I'm going to move because I feel like he's done got a lot of slander from this podcast. I'm tired of hearing them gas him up. Jadeveon and Canales specifically, I'm tired of hearing them gas DJ Johnson up. Wanham got to hurry up and come back. Amari got to hurry up and come back.
Why Wanham got to come back? You want to talk about gas?
Wanham is better. I mean, he's better than DJ Johnson. I made a statement last year. Yeah, I'm almost positive. I made a statement last year that DJ Johnson is one of the worst football players I've ever seen in my life.
Better at what?
Better aura. That was just specifically for you. I will say this. I will say this because I like maintaining the validity of the podcast. I haven't watched film on either one of the guys enough to break down exactly what he's better at. But I will say I just think that his motor is better.
Yeah,
and he got more of a dog in him. Because DJ Johnson last year, I'm going to be respectful because I know his family being VIP. And I'm not trying to get slid on that camp. But, yeah, no. I don't know why they've been gassing him. Because I haven't seen it personally.
I wasn't trying to pull your car when I asked that, but I just think
absolutely.
I just think people overrate DJ Wano. That's just how I feel.
Well, to be honest, I don't think he. No, I don't think he's crazy nice.
And a lot of it is just people are coping on losing Brian Burns, and I'm tired of it, bro. Like, all sacks are not created equal. Oh, we got 8 sacks from Brian Burns. We don't have to pay. We can get the same amount of sacks from Wyman and not pay $30 million. Okay, there's a reason why. I mean, Grant, there's a reason why Brian didn't get that many sacks. One,
because he didn't have any effort.
One, he's not the only. He's the only certified guy on the team, so folks know who to chip. I mean, they're gonna put Jadeveon through the ringer too, because we'll see. Wanham, maybe if Jadeveon can get some initial pressure, Wanham is one of them type of cleanup guys. He's not gonna beat anybody with moves. He's one of them guys like, the quarterback's can't find anybody. He's trying to navigate the traffic in the pocket, and he'll come clean up. He'll get the quarterback trips and falls. Let me tap him on the leg so I can get in the station. Those are his type of sacks. Or like last year playing with Minnesota, I can't remember the black dude, Flores. You know they blitz everybody named Mama. So when you show him blitz and then people back out, somebody gonna come free. He had multiple unblocked free run sacks. So I just don't think he's not some sack artist. Like I don't know. I don't feel encouraged.
We on FPFO. Do you think he's a hoe? Yes or no?
I don't think he's a hoe. I just don't think he's Brian Burns like everybody wants to.
Oh,
do.
no,
I don't think he's
never come out of my mouth and say that.
He's Brian Burns by any stretch of the imagination.
The gap is wide. Yeah, like very, very wide.
I think so too, but I think that and I don't agree with we can get that out of, which I might have actually said that, but more so as a placeholder. Obviously he's not a replacement, but I mean you got to bring somebody in to try to, make up somewhere, because we can't. I'm a firm believer we can't roll DJ Johnson out. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to.
He's gonna start. Bro.
I just don't think we can.
He's the best edge setter on the team, and
that is what they've been saying. That is exactly what they've been saying.
It's just a weird thing to gas up. That's what they're not gassing him. It's just a weird compliment.
In my opinion, when you call somebody an edge setter, you say that because they can't get around the edge.
Facts.
He's strong, and at the point of attack, he can hold fort. But what if they want to pass on this because they know our secondary is food? Well, some of our corners are food. So how is that going to help us? And Derrick Brown's not a pass rush specialist. He can get pressure, but I'm just.
How many guys can you go find that can set the edge? I mean, you can find that.
Shit,
anyway.
They can come get me.
Yeah,
I can set the edge.
If I gotta go around there and hold my shit in my hand, I mean, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
He's
I can't see
the best edge setter on the team, bro. That's what they said.
Nasty.
It's low key on the Giro. Not low key. It's high key on the Giro because the Giro picked them for one, and two, he talking about stopping the run before stopping the pass, but we weren't good at stopping the run last year.
I don't even want
improved.
I don't even want to dive into that situation with him.
We don't have to
slander me. They would slander me.
I was disappointed Amari Barno got injured. I'm very disappointed.
Now
he's
an effort guy with actually speed and traits that I think could be a decent cleanup guy, a placeholder type of guy, and at least you have a pass rush scenario type of guy. If we have DJ Johnson in there on third down, I'm gonna pull my hair out.
Well,
I don't want to see him there on 1 through 3.
Get ready to start pulling your hair out because he's the best edge setter that we have.
You don't need to set the edge when they dropping back to pass unless you're playing Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
What is setting the edge gonna do?
Absolutely nothing. If they want somebody that can set the edge, I'll take $200K. I mean, I don't really think that's too much to ask. Just give me 6 months. I'll be in game shape, ready to go. I promise.
We ain't got 6 months, brother.
Well, I'll be ready for next year.
We need help Thursday. I really need help tomorrow, to be honest. We're going to have full pass.
Oh, God. I hope we do go full pass. But thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you always coming through.
No doubt.
Definitely love the relationship that we built on and off camera.
It's all love, man.
For sure. Always grateful for that. Where can the people find you?
They can find me. Probably the best place. YouTube is the home of the hub of Unnecessary Bluntness. UB Sports Talk at UB Sports Talk. YouTube.com/@UB Sports Talk. That'll take you straight there. That's where most of the content is. I'll start dropping short form at some point. I got to branch
Ooh,
out.
we talked about this last year. But
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get on you.
But I do my damage on Twitter on a day-to-day basis, so you can find me at Dunk On Demand there. But yeah, man.
Thank you.
I ain't hard to find, like Primetime say. I ain't hard to find.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Go outside. That's what I told him last week. I had a little rant or 2 weeks ago. It wasn't a good one though. It wasn't a good one. I shouted you out though during the rant.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate you hopping on. As always a pleasure. Can't wait to hit Vegas. You know?
I don't know if we've been talking about vlogging Vegas, and to be honest, I just don't know if I can do it.
Just vlog
Yeah,
vlog game day.
It depends on what status I'm in at that point.
I'm just vlogging game day.
I've already begun asking God to forgive me.
Might not need to go to Vegas.
Talking like that.
I'm gonna chill. I think we'll see. But thank you again, man. Again, like, comment, subscribe. Turn that bell notification on. Follow us. Check down below. It'll be there. And yeah, we'll be back. I don't know when we'll be back. Maybe we'll be back in 2 weeks. I don't know. Can y'all just come up next week?
For the weekend practices.
It is. I'm supposed to come up next weekend. My bad. I ain't gonna put you on the spot. Everybody looking crazy.
Faces got froze.
Yeah.
I was trying to think what I got next week, and I don't know. TBD.
My clip is loaded and this is the kill.
Appreciate you, bro.
Me and my bitch took a little trip down to the garden.